Hi, everyone. Welcome to Retail Reset, which is a curated virtual forum for retail executives. Our goal is to provide tailored and tactical conversations and content that are going to help you map your road to recovery and beyond. I'm Debbie House, Executive Director of Content for Retail Touchpoints, and I'm thrilled to be joined today by Ed King, who's the co-founder of High Street Collective and Living Retail Lab. We're going to be talking about how smaller retailers can adopt innovative strategies to survive through COVID-19 and thrive in the long term. But all types and sizes of retailers are going to gain some great lessons and best practices from this discussion. So with that, I want to welcome Ed. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Debbie. Good to be with you.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, I'm going to jump into the questions. So Ed, first, can we talk a little bit on a high level about the challenges smaller to mid-sized retailers are dealing with as a result of the virus and what their greatest barriers to recovery are?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so many of these retailers are reliant on foot traffic and to their brick and mortar. Lots of retailers out there, e-commerce just doesn't make sense. It's not like these e-commerce have been slacking off, or these retailers have been slacking off not doing e-commerce. It doesn't make sense for them, especially if they have very transitory inventory. Like if they have 2 or 3 or 5 of something, or if they're upcycling fashion, for instance, it doesn't make sense for them to build an e-commerce site and build out a Shopify site with colors and inventory. It doesn't make sense. So many of these small businesses, their 100% of their revenue was really based on brick and mortar traffic. So being able to help them in some way was top of mind. And they don't have big margins. A lot of them have slim margins. Many don't offer essential products. A lot of these things are either luxury items or fashion items or seasonal items. And I mean, here's the thing, shoppers will forever be changed. That, what 9/11 did for travel, this COVID-19 is doing for virtually every business, but especially retail.
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of talk about what's going to happen with the smallest of retailers. And, do you have any predictions in that regard? And what percentage are really going to have to just shut their doors permanently? I know you'd be retired by now if you knew that answer to that, right?
Well, and it's sad to think about because, even when you drive down the street today, you look at store after store after store that's shut and has been shut for weeks, if not a month or more at this point. And we all know, I mean, they were living paycheck to paycheck anyway, right? These are people that employ their family to work there and have maybe a handful of employees, and sure, they can apply for the PPP loans and the other loans, which is awesome. I'm so glad the government was doing that for us. But here's the thing. I mean, if you're hanging on, if you're a small business and you're trying to hang on in retail, here's the thing. Your customers want you to succeed, right? They want to frequent you. They want to be able to buy gift certificates. They're not doing it yet because they can't from a physical brick and mortar perspective. So, social media is an awesome way to keep in contact with your core customers. You have Facebook fans, you have Instagram fans, reach out to them, reintroduce yourself to them, and, good old fashioned discounts and a promise of unloading some inventory at a really good price is going to get them excited about buying from you again.
All right, so I know that you've been giving this a lot of thought, and it's been a real focus of yours to help a lot of these smaller retailers. And you have launched a project called Shopping Night in America to help with these recovery efforts. I'm going to let you just give us a little background on that, how, where you came up with the idea, and just an overview.
I mean, I'm sure, like everybody, I wanted to help, right? When something like this, with the scale that it is, happens, everybody wants to help in some way, shape, or form. I'm not a frontline, doctor or nurse. I can't sew, so I'm not sewing masks, but I wanted to give back. And I thought, what do I know? Well, I know consumer behavior, I know retail, I know technology, I know social media. So what if we created something to help these small retailers, these brick and mortars, these local retailers survive? So that's why I came up with an idea called Shopping Night in America. We did our first one on April 1st. And the concept is pretty simple. It's live streaming on Facebook to your fans and re-engaging and reconnecting with them. Like I said, these customers want you to succeed. And when you go ahead and you live stream, you say, all right, here we are, we're in the store and let's talk about a few products. And think of like QVC meets Facebook Live. That's really what Shopping Night in America is. It's now happening every Wednesday. Has happened 4 straight Wednesdays. We're about to hit our fifth straight Wednesday. And the idea is very simple. It's just live stream from your store and let people know what you have. And if people want to buy something, they'll comment on it, and you can either figure out commerce after the fact, or there's some third-party integrators that help you kind of engage in sales. So
do you have, I think you have a little video that can give us kind of a quick look at it?
Yeah, let me cue it up here.
So the April 1st, was anyone thinking it was a joke? An April Fool's Day?
Some did.
Yeah.
All right, so you see my screen there?
I think so.
Yeah? Okay.
Yep.
So this is just
what I want to first show is
this is somebody.
Clutch. This is a Sandra Roberts, and this is going to be $125. This thing is heavy. This thing is like super good quality. Nice little Sandra Roberts, and I'm sorry, number 9, Sandra Roberts clutch, $125. And we're gonna go on to the outfit. Look at this. Look at those nice shirts.
I love that shirt.
This shirt is available in all sizes as well. This size here is a small. This shirt is gonna be $42.
Bargain.
And doesn't it pair so well with our flower power pants?
Flower power pants.
Look at those. And they got the elastic strap at the top. These are comfy.
So just take a look at the comments over here, and her personality was shining through, and the idea of live streaming, it's more than just feature benefits of a product. It's entertainment first. And I think that's the real magic of this is people want to engage with other people, and having this shared experience where it's a live experience and have somebody go through different things. And note that she said a number. She said, I think, this is number 21.
Right.
So people in the comments section can say, oh, number 21 sold. And then after the fact, they'll figure out the commerce. That's a great thing about these small business owners and entrepreneurs. They're very flexible and agile. Most of the people that have been participating in Shopping Night in America never did a Facebook Live before, but they're like, I'll give it a shot. Why not? And they get out there, and there's no real commerce. There was no real commerce set up in the comment section, but people would say, I want that. Then after the fact, they would DM them and then figure out Venmo or credit card or PayPal or whatever.
So how much of a hurdle was it? Or a challenge was it for retail store owners to learn how to participate using, and it's Facebook Live, right?
So, there's always some hurdles. That's part of what we're here to do, right? So we're doing this out of the goodness of our heart, the Shopping Night in America. So we're helping these small business owners. So we're chatting, we're doing Zoom back and forth of walking them through, here's how you set up a Facebook Live, here's what you do, here's some best practices, get close to the camera, make sure the microphone is clear, get some lighting, stuff like that. And I'm telling you, a lot of these people, not technically savvy, have never done a Facebook Live, but they got out there and they tried it and they said, let's just give it a shot. And the results have been pretty staggering, actually.
Yeah, tell us about some of the results.
Yeah, I mean, anecdotally, like we had somebody participate for the first time this last Wednesday, and it's hand-dyed fabric. It's cherry wood hand-dyed fabric, and they're in Minnesota, and they'd never done a Facebook Live, and they have beautiful products. It's hand-dyed fabric, and it's pretty cool stuff. And she kind of stumbled and bumbled through the first 90 minutes and had some technical issues, and the audio was bad, but she's working on it. She's figuring it out. Even despite that, she sold over $3,000 in 90 minutes using the platform. And another one who did it the first time ever she did Facebook Live, she said, I made enough from this one event to be able to pay my people another couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
That's exactly why we created this. You know, it's so heartening to hear that.
So how do businesses get involved with Shopping Night?
Oh, it's pretty easy. I mean, it's a Facebook platform. So if you just go to facebook.com/shopping night in America, you kind of like that page, and either as a consumer or as a retailer, you can kind of see through the timeline what's going on, what's happening. It happens every Wednesday from 7 to 10 local time, and we're there kind of pushing these live streams. We're there, you know, bringing new shoppers to the table, bringing new shoppers to your live streams. And most of them are from Main Street, USA. I mean, these are smaller communities, small boutiques who love the idea, and they end up getting thousands, like the one I just showed you. That was a couple weeks ago. They have 40 shares, 5,700 views of their video, and hundreds of comments. This is somebody who hadn't really done Facebook Live before. So it's taking off. Customers are kind of flooding in. Retailers are trying to figure out exactly how to use it. But once they figure it out, it's working well.
So how do you envision this as the recovery starts to happen in post virus crisis? And is this something that is just going to be valuable for the smallest of retailers, or, you know, is it something that you think larger retailers will want to participate in?
Yeah, I mean, I think larger retailers can participate in it. Smaller retailers are doing it to stay in business and to sell pretty much anything they can.
Right.
But larger retailers, you know, I think maybe new product drops, special events. You know, I think there is something for it for larger retailers. Because there's the FOMO aspect, right? A fear of missing out, and if your fans are clamoring for to come into your store, maybe you do one of those trunk shows or new product announcements, or Kim Kardashian announced the new perfume a year or two ago on an Asian platform like this and sold 15,000 bottles of perfume in like 15 minutes. It was ridiculous. So there's something in it, I think, for all sizes.
All right. So just real quick, is there, a tip? I know that you get help with them set up. Are there tips and strategies for motivating more views, more conversations, increasing sales? And is there a chance also that it could go in the opposite direction and you could get so much interest and you don't have the supply? How are they going to handle that if that becomes a challenge?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, that's a good problem to have, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, as far as, best practices and what's working, here's the big secret about it. The big secret is people are not tuning in for features and benefits of a product. People are tuning in to be entertained and to follow you as a human being. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a personal shopper. Once you earn the trust of your consumers, they're going to keep coming back. So if you're there and you create a connection with your customers as a retailer, the reason they're going to keep coming back is to see you because they trust you and they trust your judgment. And I think that's the biggest thing. And it's, stuff like lighting and audio and making sure all those things are right. That's table stakes, but really getting in there and creating that connection with your customer is the biggest thing you can do from a best practices point.
So this is one, great example of how to engage during this crisis, engage through social channels. Moving forward, what do you see as the future of social commerce and this kind of live stream shopping? Is it going to be a global phenomenon as well? Yeah,
I know. This has kind of been a thing for a few years in China. It's, I mean, culturally it fit better, I think, in China than it did the U.S. So it's nothing new to them. But since COVID hit, they've had exponential increase in live stream selling, and it's a whole industry over there. It's multi-billion-dollar industry. And these influencers, these key influencers and these hosts are they're trained to really entertain first and then sell second. So I do think that there's opportunities in the US to do it. Amazon has tried it with Amazon Live, and QVC has channels on YouTube. So the old school kind of shopping club kind of perspective is alive and happening. It's just, it hasn't hit critical mass here. And I don't know, maybe it will, maybe it won't. We're not sure. But at least right now, for the segment that we're serving for Shopping Night in America, it makes a whole lot of sense for them. And since consumer behaviors, it's not like a light switch. It's not like everybody's going to come into your store at one time. It's going to kind of slowly build up as far as brick and mortar traffic goes. So we're going to keep it going as long as possible, as long as it's needed, as long as there's a demand. We'll have Shopping Night in America every Wednesday. But yeah, I mean, the jury's out if it's going to actually take hold here in the U.S.
Right, right. And how are you marketing it? How are you making people aware of Shopping Night in America?
A few $100s on Facebook is really it, right? So, you know, and I know you ran a story on us, which was great. I think that drove some viewership and some likes and some retailers that would join. But really, it hasn't been much. It's word of mouth. It's sharing on Facebook. That's really what our key demo is. What we found is women that are on Facebook that want to kind of have that browsing Main Street experience that they haven't had in a while. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're kind of hitting our stride. Mm-hmm. is that demo.
All right, terrific. Well, thanks for sharing the video and your insights. And, I wish you guys all the best as we continue to hopefully recover from this crisis. I know it's going to be a new normal, so I think we're all very interested to see, how we all come out on the other side. But, thanks so much for having this conversation with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Debbie. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks to all of you for joining us as well. Stay safe and healthy.